Hello Flosstube friends! Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2026. My name is Audrey Marine and this is a channel all about cross stitch. I was thinking about when I might come back for another video. Plan was probably going to be late July, but I decided that I wanted to do a video today focusing on the small retreat that I just attended. And then later this month or early August, I will come back with a Christmas in July wrap-up video because I have started several Christmas cross-stitch projects. I'm excited about all of them. I've already finished one piece and I have plans to start at least one more. So I'll have plenty to show you when I come back for that in just a couple weeks. But today I wanted to go over, as I say, a retreat I just attended. There was a summer gathering, is what it was called, held in Arcadia, Indiana, and it was featuring Donna Jenkins and Stacy Nash. Now, we've all heard of Stacy Nash. I have stitched many of her animal crackers, and even if you haven't stitched any of her charts, I'm sure you have heard of her. She releases a bunch of stuff at market every year. She just opened a shop in Arcadia within the last year and a half or so. And she participates in the Jingle Ball, which she will be doing again this year. So we should all be familiar with her body of work. But I saw that they were going to be hosting this thing called a summer gathering. And it would feature Donna Jenkins teaching EPP. So I didn't sign up right away, but as it got closer and there were still spots available, I was like, you know what, I can probably swing this. So I did sign up and I'm so glad that I did. So I just want to go over what was included and how much it cost. I'll let you guys know that. And then show you what we got. And then the few things that I purchased from Stacy's shop while I was up there, as well as a couple other finishes that I have that are related to all of this. So this is kind of going to be a Stacy Palooza sort of thing, but it was wonderful. It was a really great experience, and I'm so glad I went. So it was last Friday and Saturday, and as I say, it was held in Arcadia, which is about an hour north of me. A super easy drive through farmland, but it's just a bit of a drive. But it was $225, and for that we got all necessary materials for both the EPP projects and the Stacy Nash cross-stitch kit. We were also provided with breakfast, which was pastries and coffee. And then we were provided lunch as well from local restaurants, and it was wonderful. So I didn't partake in the breakfast actually either of the days. I ate breakfast here and made the drive up there, but lunch was great and I'm so glad that that was included. So I thought for $225, this was a great deal for the things that we got, the fact that meals were included, and it happened that I just had a really great time. I had two wonderful friends with me. One, Autumn, I kind of talked her into this. Well, I don't know how forceful I was, but Autumn, who I have mentioned before, she and I just randomly met at a ribbon embroidery needlepoint class in January and have kind of just connected and met up a couple times for shopping in Arcadia earlier this year actually, and then also she came down just a couple weeks ago when we went to Midland Antique Mall here in Indianapolis, and that was great. So and then also Lisa Curry, who I met just recently at StitchCon, she contacted me and let me know that she was going to this thing in Arcadia and were there any quilt shops in the area? And I said, I'm going to this thing in Arcadia. So it was the three of us together. Unfortunately, Autumn couldn't make it the second day, but I'm so glad that she went to the first. It seems like she had a great time. I had a great time. I told the organizers, Stacy and Donna and Stacy's family actually, because it was sort of a family affair, that I had a great time, was very happy, and hope that they do it again. So I hope they do. So let me just go ahead and get to it. Now that I've been babbling for 5 minutes, let me show you what we actually got. So Friday focused on EPP and learning the basics, you know, making hexes, getting things together, you know, trying to wrap your head around all this. So we got a full kit of materials from Donna, including scissors, needles, stuffing, not just fabric and hexes, but we did get many pieces of fabric, plenty of hexes, and you can choose to reuse these, or you could just toss them if you've sort of mangled them in the process. But what I did was I figured that my first hexie puff, and I will show you, I figured that my first one, and this is the only one that I have completed so far, but I figured my first one would be like the first pancake and would look awful. So I went through and I pulled my favorite fabrics and then set those aside. And then I just picked from what was left to put this together. But actually, I do think it turned out pretty well. The game changer for me were these little wonder clips. We're all familiar with these wonder clips. Why I didn't use them last time I was doing this, I have no idea. At least I don't think I did. Maybe I just was awful at it. Even if I was using the clips, I don't know. But Donna included these clips with everybody's kit. And it really, for me, made all the difference because, and she taught us to baste the hexagonal fabric pieces around the paper hexes, and these are very stiff. So I just think the combination of having a teacher and the right materials, slowing down, doing it the right way, made for a better experience, made for a successful finished product. I think this looks pretty good. My problem came when we were supposed to do the feather stitch on the outside. Now I have done the feather stitch in cross stitch, it's fine. But it's very, very orderly, right? You're doing it on cross stitch fabric. It's on a grid. It's all going to be perfect if you're doing it in a straight line. This, it was fine here and then just went awry. So first pancake, right? That's fine. But I'm very happy with my hexes. My feather stitch here on this 3-dimensional object needs some work. But I recognize what I did wrong. I was messing with the angle that I was putting my needle in. So that's why the look of the stitches changed as I went around this hexie here. But the hexes that I made were perfect. So I'm very happy with that. Have plenty of these hexes left over. And of course, you know, quilt stores sell them. Easy to get more of those if I need them. I also have a bunch of iron-on hexes that I may try to use again. They're not as stiff as these, not nearly, but you don't pull them out. That's the thing. You just leave them in and then they're supposed to sort of like semi-dissolve in the wash. That's the idea. So I may try those again, but use the clips as I go. Use the little wonder clips in the process. And as I said, I have plenty of fabric from what Donna gave us. I thought she gave good instruction. You know, it was very easy to follow her. She took, you know, a good chunk of the day to go over this, like the various steps with us. So, and none of us wanted it. We got to the end of that day and Autumn was like, I love this, but it took all day. And it did, it took all day. But actually, the day was only from 10 to 4. We didn't start at 10 and we broke for lunch. We chatted a long time after lunch. We didn't really go until 4. Some people went to the shop in the middle. So it was all day, but it wasn't. So I think actually sitting at home doing this by myself or by yourself, you could finish one of these, not in 6 hours, but in 2 hours? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to do it again and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So, because I'm happy with that and I feel that I could improve on it. So that's good. All right, in addition to all of the goodies from Donna, she had set up a little pop-up shop. So, you know, there were extra things that you could buy if you wanted little souvenirs and things. And I did pick up a couple things. I think at least one of them are going to be a gift. So I'll just kind of keep them to myself here. And then I also popped over to the shop. I went to the shop on Friday and twice on Saturday. Because it's just fun to go in there and walk around. But on Friday, we also got a little welcome bag, and I want to show you guys that because it was so cute. It says Weston, Maine. That is the name of Stacy's shop. So I keep saying that it's Stacy's shop, but actually her son works there, and he is in charge of printing all the charts. So he works the till, and he stocks stuff, but he also prints the charts, and he was like printing things as we were there. we were walking around. Oh, I can't find this chart. I can't find this chart. And he's like, well, what do you want? Let me know. I'll print it. He was so nice. So thank you, Michael. He's not going to watch this, but he was very kind, very patient with us, you know. So it was very nice. But Weston, Maine is the name of the shop. I don't know that they ship, but if you're ever in the area, I would say pop over and see what they have. Besides Stacy's charts and some kits, she has a limited supply of fabric, and she has a full line of weeks though, no other flosses, but then home decor and gifts and things like that. And then she sells her daughter Taylor, you know, we all know that Taylor makes those lotion bars and waxers. They have a good supply of lotion bars, and we each got one in our goodie bag. This is lavender, and it really smells like lavender. So I have one of the lotion bars in, what scent did I get? It was some fruity thing. Anyway, I really like that. I'm not a lavender girl, so I'm gonna be giving that away to a friend. But we also got this waxer that Taylor made, beehive with bees on it, and it smells so good. And this is just a cute little decoration and goes with the theme of the weekend. It was bee themed, and everything was kind of like yellow and blue. It was very cute. But this bag, and there were some other things in this bag, a lot of candy that went to the kids, and then a lippy, and oh, where is it? Oh, this is so cute. It says buzz off, I'm counting. And I was reminded though, after the fact, that I wanted, because Julie showed it on her video. Julie has one of these rulers from Stacy Nash, and it says maybe swearing will help. And I was like, oh, I need that. But this one's cute too, and it went with the theme of the weekend. And then on Saturday, I should say, on Saturday, we got there 10-ish again in the morning, and we had a new box set out on the table for us, and this was Stacy's kit, and I was looking at it, and I knew what it was because Stacy had shared on her Instagram a photo of the partially completed animal cracker that we would receive. So it's like I knew what I was getting, but I was looking at this box going, when can I tear into it? I sat and I waited patiently, and then finally, you know, they started the day. Stacy and her daughter-in-law Kayla, who was helping to run the show, they were like, well, you can open your box now. Tore that thing open. And this is the chart that we received. This is Clover, and I will actually insert a photo here of Stacy's finished piece, which of course was on display. Clover is so cute and so little. She's only 65 stitches by 90 stitches, and so she will be nice and little. We were given the 36 count linen and the called for weeks dye works. I brought with me some Roxy threads that I thought would work, and then I brought 3 pieces of 40 count linen, and because I figured we would get 36 in the kit. That's usually Stacy's go-to for these animal crackers. So I will give the 36 and the weeks to a friend of mine with the chart. But I started my little Clover on this beautiful blue linen. Oh, I love it. And I'm using Roxy. This is what I picked. So actually I need to show you both yellows. I brought 2 yellows up there with me. The darker one is Honey Nut, and the lighter one is Driving Me Daisy. Both of those are one-of-a-kind colors. They may have them in stock on the Evertote website. That is Evertote.ca. I brought these 2 with me because I didn't know which one I would want to use. I also wasn't sure of what fabric I was going to use of the 3 that I brought, but I was pretty darn sure it was going to be this. This fabric doesn't have a name. It's a Tabby Cat Rando that I bought at Swindon in October of last year. So I messaged Julie and I said, I was with you when I picked this out. We were standing at that table together. And I remember she called it a cornflower blue, and I think that's absolutely perfect. So what I ended up doing was using the darker yellow, the Honey Nut, the kind of golden yellow. I used that for her face and her arms, and I'll use that for her legs as well. And then I used Driving Me Daisy for the yellow in her blouse. And we'll use that for the honeycomb texture on her dress. So Stacy has it charted that it's all the same yellow. And I think that's fine, but I wanted, basically I just really like these two yellows and I wanted to use both of them. So I was like, how can I do that? Well, I liked the idea of using the darker one for her, for the bee's fur, if you want to call it. You know, they're furry. And then use the lighter one for her blouse. And I actually got an idea this morning that I might use a single strand. And this is 1/2 on 40 count. But I might use a single strand of a dark brown or black and make a grid on the body of the blouse to make it look like it's checked. I think that would be really cute. Really cute. Now for the ends of her little antenna here, I added rose stitches. And then Stacy has charted 3 white stitches in each eye. I just filled the eyes in with the brown and then stitched a single French knot in the corners to give that little gleam of light there. The flowers are not filled in yet, but I did manage to get the green in. I'll have to add the flower and a little bit of green up on her head. She looks cute even without that flower on her head, but I think I'm gonna add it all the same. So, oh, she's just so cute. And I have to make this very clear. I know there are only 24 of these charts floating around, but mine is not available for purchase or borrowing. I will not be selling this or lending it. I'm gonna stitch it and then I may stitch it one more time, but then it's going to a friend along with the kit materials that we received from Stacy. But I've never known Stacy to hold back any animal crackers. So I am hopeful that this will be released generally in a year's time or even at market, which is in March, and that's not really that far away. So hopefully that's what she decides to do for that. But I just love this. I did just start it yesterday at the retreat. It was nice that we started Saturday morning with Stacy's kit because I thought the schedule was set so that we would continue with Donna's instructions Saturday morning and then get Stacy's kit in the afternoon. But I love that they switched it. If they did, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but just getting Stacy's kit yesterday morning was wonderful because then I just got, I could get going on it right away. So I got quite a bit of the yellow of her face done yesterday while I was at the retreat, and then stitched more when I got home and then did some more this morning. So I think I will actually be able to finish this tomorrow. Let me go ahead and let you know what colors I'm using. Again, these are all Roxy Floss Co. threads, and you can get them at Evertote.ca. Pearl is the white, Driving Me Daisy, Honey Nut, Phantom is the brown. This is what I am using for the inside of her eyes and her waistband. This is Upside Brown. This is a very dark brown, and this is actually what I'm using for the antenna and the darker brown around her eyes and her mouth. All of that really is supposed to be a black. This is supposed to be mascara, and then the dress is supposed to be mascara. But what I chose to do was use a very dark brown for the darkest bits up here, and then the dress I am using a black, just to soften her features. That's what I chose to do. So that was Upside Brown. The black that I am using is Green and Barrett. And then the green that I have chosen is English Ivy. To me, the little flowers here, just because the color, the size, the shape, they look to me like chicory. So I looked that up, and it's like this teeny tiny little periwinkle flower and a vibrant green stem and leaves. So I chose English Ivy. And then for the flowers themselves, I've got Dazzling. This is not necessarily the closest Roxy to Periwinkle, which is what is called for in the chart, but I just really like this color. And I think it'll look really nice right here. And then if it blends in with the fabric right here, if it ghosts a little bit, I'm not worried about it. I just really like this color. So happy with that conversion. Very happy with that conversion. I've had some questions. Every once in a while I get questions about my Roxy conversions. I do my best to put every bit of information you may need about a Roxy conversion that I have mentioned in that drop down box below. So go ahead and check there if you are interested in this. Now, if you go onto the Evertote website and they're missing colors, I would say email the Evertote team. You can email Hannah or talk to anybody else there, and they'll let you know if they happen to have like a lingering skein in stock that they could sell you. If they don't, they should be able to provide you with a good substitute that will give you a similar look. So if you like my conversions, please check the drop down box below. And even on Instagram, I do a pretty good job, I think, about providing all the color names there. So also in our kit from Stacy, we received another wooden piece. Kayla designed this, and then somebody else in the family dealt with the laser cutting. So it really was a family affair. And on the back, it says a summer gathering 2026. So a nice little keepsake. This is a cute little thread winder that I can put in one of my winterberry cases or stick in my cabinet here on display. But this little ruler is definitely going to be used. I love little rulers like this. I do use them quite a bit. Between tiny rulers and corner gauges, I like to have one in every project bag, kit, when I travel, when I'm at home. I love them. So that was a great addition to the collection. But just really happy with the whole experience. As I said, you know, I had my friend Autumn, and then I had an even newer friend Lisa there, and it was wonderful. We shared a lot of laughs. We had great meals provided for us, and overall, just a wonderful experience. Price point was good too, and it was very easy for me to travel. I mean, as a rule, I don't participate in retreats during the summer. It's just not something that's feasible. I often get questions about, are you going to summer school? Sometimes I even get messages saying, I'll see you at summer school, which is presumptuous. Like, I'm not going to summer school. I don't go to retreats in the summer. It's just not possible. But this was wonderful. I told Stacy it was for me because I was local. A lot of people came from Ohio. Some people came from even farther. But I told Stacy for me it was bite-sized. So I got the taste of a retreat, but I could still sleep in my own bed. You know, it was easy travel and no packing, no airfare, no hotel required, which was wonderful. So as I said, I did go pop over to Weston, Maine, the shop a few times. And I got almost everything I wanted. I was contemplating something that I did not need, and I did not come home with it. But I came home with some charts. Now, I can't show you all the charts that I got because I haven't quite decided what's for me and what's going to be a gift. But I can show you these two because these are definitely staying with me. This is Miss Hazel, and Autumn was like, you didn't have that one? No. And I also don't have Maggie May, like the most popular and one of the older ones, actually. Kind of the one that started the whole cracker craze, I think. Because Maggie May, the little bunny in the cardigan sweater, came out a few years ago. And I think that's like when people went bonkers. But Miss Hazel, I remember when this one came out, I think it was a market release a couple years ago, and I just wasn't sold on it. I was like, I don't need that. But I'm having so much fun stitching these little things that can be completed in 4 days, and I can pick my own colors and, you know, just pull from stash and do all sorts of things. It's fun. It allows me to be creative with colors in a way that is not, what was I going to say? It's not time consuming, and there's no great risk involved. Like, I'm not trying to do a conversion for a huge sampler, changing half the colors to make it my own. That sounds like a headache. That sounds like a risk I don't want to take. But Miss Hazel here, like, if I don't want to give her a blue coat, but I want to give her a purple coat or a pink coat or a stripy polka dot apple green coat, I can do that. And you know, if I don't like it, then how much time have I really put into it, right? So Miss Hazel, and then Jules Darling, who is on Flosstube, and you should watch her. She put out a video just a few days ago, a week ago. I don't know. I've watched it a lot. It's wonderful. It's amazing. She's stitching this one, and I've been following her progress, and there's a bug. I've been following her progress on Instagram, and this is another one of Stacy's pin keeps, but it's huge. It's 138 by 135. What are you doing, Stacy? But it's so pretty. You know, you see these pastel colors kind of fading into this gingerbread colored linen, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. But watching Julie's progress, I've loved it. So I thought I needed to just pick that up. And then, as I said, Stacy has some fabric in the store. She doesn't have a huge supply, but she has a lot of counts, and she's got some Aida, some 28, 32, and up to 46. No 56 that I saw, and a limited amount of 46. But she's got weeks. She's got a little bit of Tabby Cat. She had like a couple pieces of Mason, just like a few, you know, she's got a sampling of a few different dyers. But I saw this one, and I recalled seeing this at the attic earlier this year, and I didn't get it. But I opened this piece of olive green and took a look at the whole thing, and I really liked it. So this is Tabby Cat, olive green, 40 count. And I thought it would be beautiful for a larger piece. It would be beautiful for some animal crackers, some smaller seasonal pieces. I could even put this on it and do a completely different color scheme with it. But I just thought it was so pretty. I have a couple green fabrics, but nothing quite like this. You know, I've got a really dark green Mason, but it's almost like a gray green. I have oil green by XJew, which is really fun, but very bright. Not good for all projects. And the flies on the fabric. Urgh. Oh my gosh. Don't worry, I wasn't actually gonna smash it in there. So, got one piece of fabric, got some charts, had a great time. Hope they do it again. Kind of hoping like 2 times a year. What do you think? I don't know. But my plan is to either tonight or tomorrow send an email to Kayla, who was the one organizing this and sending out emails and stuff. I'm going to send her an email and just reiterate how much fun it was and that I hope they do it again. So let me show you my related finishes, because I don't think you guys have seen these. And since we're talking about Stacy Nash and animal crackers, I have to share. Now, this one you've seen. Look, she's so cute. So I got to show it again. This is Abigail. And this was a market release just from earlier this year. I did my own conversion. It doesn't look anything, color-wise, does not look anything like Stacy's original piece. I stitched this on 40 count light hazelnut from XJew, and as I say, I did a full Roxy Floss Co conversion and added a little button. That is a 4mm button from Just Another Button Co. Yeah, so cute. And I will put the information on the colors used for Abigail here down below. And then I added, this is something I added, the little A there. But the original piece, this goat is supposed to be tan and brown, and I was pulling Roxy to fit that color scheme, and I couldn't quite settle on anything. And then I thought, I don't have to have a brown goat. I can have a whatever I want goat. And I love black and white goats. I think they're so cute. So that's why Abigail here is black and white. Also, I stitched her eyes a little bit differently. I picked a golden color for the eyes, stitched road stitches for the eyes, and then added with a black thread horizontal stitches for the pupils. So that's why her eyes look different than the model as well. Recently I finished Olive, the little goose. another conversion. Stacy's model is a white goose with a pink dress. I did the pink dress, but made it a gray goose. I wanted it to look like a Toulouse goose or a gray leg goose. So I chose Roxy's in my stash. What is going on with this fly? We have company today. Go away. Go away. You know, you open the door. It's summertime. Something's going to get inside. It's just how it happens. This thing here was a pain in the patootie. I recorded a Stitch With Me, a Flosstube extra video talking about the process of creating that right there. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I will link that video below and you are welcome to watch it. But so cute. I would like to stitch this again, a white goose with a blue dress, because when I started this for Market Mania, actually for Gems, Stitchin' Gems, she's on Flosstube and Instagram if you want to give her a follow. I decided this was going to be my Market Mania start, and I pulled pinks for the dress and blues for the dress, and I couldn't quite decide which one to use. I think I do like those blues better that I pulled, so I need to go ahead. I just need to stitch this again, and then I'll have two geese, or I can have this one finished and give it to a friend. I don't know. I told myself I wasn't giving away any more animal crackers. I have given away 5 animal crackers, and all have gone to good homes. So, you know, I don't, no regrets. I have no regrets, but I do want to stitch Lily the frog again. And actually, Jordan Tattooed Stitcher, she and I were texting about it, and she was like, now wait, hear me out. And she came up with a great idea for Lily's dress. And then I was like, oh, and what if I stitched on this fabric? She's like, yes. So I'm gonna go ahead with that one. I'm gonna finish Clover, the bumblebee. I'm gonna finish her. And then I have one more I wanna stitch. And then I think after I'm done with that animal cracker, I will stitch Lily again. Yeah, because she's just so funny. If you've seen that frog, why is she so sad? This is Clovis, the badger. This is part of Stacy Nash's British Animal Cracker series. I don't remember when this one was released. I think it was last year. But did another conversion on this one. This basically looks like Stacy's model, except I chose a purple for the dress instead of a teal color. I don't remember what the called for the teal was. I don't remember what it was, but this is a Violet Woods from Roxy Floss. This is all Roxy again. All of my animal crackers from here on out will probably be done with Roxy, simply because I just have so much Roxy cotton in my stash. It's been wonderful to work with. Someone asked me, every once in a while I get questions about, well, why Roxy over Weeks or Gentle Arts or what's the other one? Classic Colorworks. And I told them, and this is what I tell everybody, I cannot definitively say that Roxy is a better product, but it's not an inferior product. And I have so enjoyed the videos from Caroline and Carrie over the last few years since I discovered Flosstube and those beautiful humans up in Canada. And purchasing Roxy Floss from Evertote, I'm supporting 2 women-owned businesses, and I like that. I like them, and I do really like the product. And Carrie now has such a wide variety of colors in her catalog. I don't want for anything, really. I mean, I want the whole catalog, but I could kit up just about anything with what I already have. So Violet Woods for the dress, and Italian seasoning for the apron. And I don't remember off the top of my head the rest of the colors, but again, I will list these down below. And I stitched this. These are all stitched on 40 count. This is a 40 count mystery from Tabby Cat. It's just an off yellow. If you want a Roxy Floss Co light yellow, I would recommend Buttercup. This is a 40 count Antiquity from number 12 Stitch Co. And I already told you what Abigail was stitched on. And then this next one I'm going to show you. What is the deal with the slug? He's so cute. He's so cute. But why is this Ryan's favorite thing of everything I have ever stitched? I got done with this. He kept asking about it. Like, it took me like 2.5 days to stitch this thing. It was so easy. But he kept asking, how's the slug coming? How's the slug coming? And I get done with it, and he's just laughing, and he loves it. He says, where are we going to display it? And I said, where do you want to display it? He said, the bedroom. And I started laughing, and I was like, oh, no, we can't put him in the bedroom because the cat will pick it up and think it's a toy and run off with it, because she has a lot of these little plushy toys that would be about this size. And he's like, no, we're going to frame it. What? Excuse me? We're going to frame it? So he is insistent that we frame this. Now, I'm just going to send this to Greta, and she's going to finish it into a little pillow. And if he cries, then I'll stitch another one and we can frame that one. But it's like, I told him, he was like, why can't we frame it? And I said, well, it's expensive to have things. It's really not that expensive to have things framed, in my opinion. And Lisa Manton does a great job and everything. But this was how I was going to get out of it. And he's like, well, that doesn't stop you from framing other stuff. And I was like, what? Just let me make it into a pillow. I just want a little bowl filler. Oh, he is so cute. I left off the grass. Let me tell you about the actual piece. 40 count mystery aqua from Tabby Cat. And I left off the grass. So I just kind of, flattened him out here. This is a speckled floss from Roxy called Bespeckled. It's an older one. I got it from a friend. She just gave me all her old Roxy, and she's like, I'm not going to use this. So she sent it to me, and Bespeckled was one of them. It's so cool. And then I think this is ochre, which should be in the Roxy Floss Co collection, standard collection catalog. This is just a brown. I don't remember what the Roxy Floss Co was. This is navy train. I do remember that. And then the little polka dots, I think I stitched in, oh, it was one of their teal greens. The eye is a road stitch. I really like using a road stitch for the eyeballs because it kind of pops out. Road stitch is, imagine a cross stitch plus a plus sign, plus one like this, plus one like this. So you're kind of going, you're making like wheel spokes going around like that. And so you get these really big puffy stitches that jump off. Let's see if I can you see that? See how it sits on top? And at the retreat yesterday, yeah, Lisa was looking at my henny penny that I brought, Goody the chicken, with all those different specialty stitches on it. And she was like, wow, your Smyrna crosses look so good. And I was looking at it, and I was like, yeah, they do. And then I said, oh, no. Those are road stitches. And she's like, well, no wonder they look so good. Meaning, no wonder they look so like puffy and full. It's because it's a, imagine a Smyrna stitch plus. That's what it is. So, completed all of those animal crackers. Peroy here, who I told Ryan, I was like, we have to call him YB. And he's like, why? And I was like, you need to watch Coraline. So we do need to do that. But so completed 1, 2, 3, oh gosh, look at them, 4. So these are getting sent off to Greta at Stitchwork Design Co. I was texting with her a little bit today, and I should be able to see her later this year. What is this? This is July, so maybe in 2 months. That'd be great. If I can go down to Alabama with Ryan again, like I did last year. But yeah, just excited about all these cute little things that I've managed to finish. I do feel like, oh, my samplers. I have not stitched on a sampler in weeks. It's weird. And I'm thinking about Isabella Henry that I want to start, and I'm thinking about Jane Wood that I want to continue. Thinking about all these different beautiful pieces that I have in my stash, on the go or ready to go. Ann Castle. But it's been so fun to have these little finishes. And I'm excited, like I said, I'm excited about the Christmas pieces that I've started. I will show you those on my next video, which will be pretty soon. It'll be, I think I'm gonna aim for August 1st and hopefully have some ornaments to show you there. And then a larger Christmas piece. Not huge, but something that I was initially unsure of, like bought the chart because I thought it was cute. Was I ever really going to stitch it? Who knows? But I started it, and I'm so glad that I did because I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I've shared some progress photos with some friends, but I'm hoping that I will be able to share with you guys a finished piece, that finished Christmas piece, as well as some other smaller things. So just excited about what I've been doing. Kind of loving the EPP. Want to get back to that. Dug out the EPP kit that I bought from Paper Hearts Quilt Store. Was that a year ago that I went up there? Longer than a year ago. It was a while. So dug that out thinking, oh, well, maybe I can buy that quilting fabric collection that I had my eye on. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it. I will do a little bit more EPP to know that I really like it and really enjoy it, and to verify that it is something that I'm willing to put time into, because, you know, time you put into that is time you're taking away from cross stitch and other things. But just wanted to share all that. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm sure there are some things that I left out, but I will link, as I said, I'll link everybody that I mentioned. How about that? Check the description box below. And again, if you have any questions, you can leave them here in the comments section. You can also find me on Instagram at @StitchStitchBead. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys are stitching an animal cracker. What have you been stitching? I'd be curious to know. We kind of talked with Stacy about her most popular pieces, and she told us about some ideas for ones that she has. Who knows what's actually going to be coming up. Kayla asked at one point, like, what do you guys want? And I said, I want a pig. I don't know if that's actually going to make it onto the list, but I told her I want a pig in a cardigan sweater. And I have half a mind to just do this myself. I don't know why, but a pig in a cardigan sweater, and you got to name him Snowball. Of course. This is how my brain works. You're welcome. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys probably August 1st for Christmas in July wrap up, and, you know, whatever else I happen to have been working on in the meantime. But thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching.